I never thought I would be a therapist. I was supposed to be a legislator. I was doing a lot of things, law, obviously, and social work and policy writing. And the way of life just kind of kept shifting me in the direction of clinical work. But I didn't really know that I had a calling, or if you would call it a calling, that I had a concept about me being someone who would participate in another person's healing. I'm Phillip Lewis, and I am the founder of the Healing Collective Therapy and Wellness. We have to some way not acknowledge or not figure out why these blessings, which are emotions, whether they're traumatic or emotional or painful, what they're coming to teach us is important. So if we don't have a space that facilitates a lesson in the emotion that's coming up, it's going to be very difficult to navigate the journey of life in itself. I counsel and advise on the law and how that impacts mental health, like things like oppression. And I'm a sex therapist. I'm a certified sex therapist. And I think those two are important because those two are the things that most of us have some interaction with. We're here, so we've been impacted or are a product of sex in some way. And unfortunately, it might be problematic instances of sex, sexual dysfunction, sexual dissatisfaction. But if you're living, if you're having a human experience, you are impacted by some form of sex and pleasure. Understand, interpret, and distinguish the nuances of how some policy, legislation, or rule or regulation can impact or oppress an individual is important, because that oppression, that detrimental impact or disparative treatment can then manifest in something like depression or anxiety or social isolation, irritability, stuff like that. So the combination of social justice counseling and sex therapy, I would say, is definitely what leads a lot of my practice. If I don't care about you, if I don't have a vested interest in your growth and your development, if this isn't a nurturing space, I think it's really hard for a clinician to step out of the room and diagnose and treat someone with a problem, as opposed to being in it with them. I always use the example of, if for some reason we have to dig a ditch 6 feet deep, right? It's easy for me to stand at the edge and tell you where to dig or watch out for that stone or make sure that the ground below you is even. But it's a lot easier for me to get down in there with you and dig, and both of us get to the goal of the 6 feet or find the treasure or whatever it might be. So my therapeutic style is I'm in there with you, and I'm digging up the stuff, the emotional burdens. I am walking you through and understanding what the treasure might be, or the pieces that we're finding in the dirt. And then we both get out and we look at it and we analyze it and we understand, and we either put the items up, for archival purposes, we cherish them, we make them whatever we want them to be, but you're not in it alone, and nor am I just directing you or telling you. I'm there with you, bringing you through the process.